to do worship, but we're not going to sing because I need to get Melissa back. Heads. Father in heaven, I want to thank you for today, for your love and watch care. As we start our last session today, and we start with worship, we just pray that the words that Robert has to speak to us makes an impact in our hearts for you and for these kids. We ask for your hands of healing to be upon Melissa right now. She's struggling with a high heart rate, and so Lord, you're the great physician, and we know that you can heal her without a question. And we just ask in your hands that you do this, and we believe that you will, because we've asked it in the name of your Son. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right. Well, thank you for that prayer. Thank you for everyone for sticking around. And yeah, Melissa's having a tough time, so we got to keep her in her prayers all day today. And let's remember to do that for sure. So. Today, I just wanted to talk about something that's always on my mind and always on my heart. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, if you want to turn there. Lift your phone, whatever you'd like to do there. But it's 1 Corinthians chapter 9, and we're going to go to verse 24. Verse 24. All right? Whenever you're there, let me know. Yep, there's one. Kids over there, you got it? You got it? All right. Verse 24 says this, "Do you not know that those who run in a race, all run, but one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may obtain it. And everyone who competes for the prize is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a perishable crown, but we for an imperishable crown. Therefore I run thus, not with uncertainty, thus I fight, not as one who beats the air, but I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest when I have preached to others, I myself should become disqualified." I think this is fitting for where we are at right now in our meetings today. Today is our last one, but yet it's not our last time together. This is our last time as a group of 3 different churches, 4 different churches, 4 different Pathfinders. But it's not our last time in running this race. The race that we're running is to help not only these children, but other people around us. Helping these kids here know how to follow God in the right way. And it said there that we need to run in such a way that we may obtain it, it says. And it says there that we need to be temperate in all things. And that to me means more than just going and eating the right food or exercising the correct way. It means that we have to be temperate in those things, but also our own lives. And the things that we do, the things that we think about, the things that we go into here that come out there. The way we become is only through and should only be through Christ. It says that he needs to be in subjection to God at all times. He says, I have to discipline my body so that it will do what it's supposed to do. And I think that's really hard sometimes. Maybe those who went to the military understand it better than those who did not. Or maybe kids might understand it because the law of dad or mom. But the law of God tells us to do things in a certain way. And it's for our own benefit. It's not even for our own good, it's for our own benefit to be that way. And to run that race that we're running, that is important for us to do. Ellen White says this, I forgot which one it was CH, and I forgot to write it down because I usually do. But it says that the humble, self-denying life of our divine Lord, we are to keep constantly in view. So what God has did and what he did for us, what Jesus did for us, that's the type of thing we need to keep in our mind and our view of what he did for us. So each one of us, when we're thinking about going out in there and we watch stuff on our phone or whatever it is, we should always remember how Christ was, how he acted, what he did, why he did it, and when he did it. He did this his whole life. Everything that Jesus did, he did because he loved us. Just as everything that we should do is because we love someone else. Whoever it is. Our kids, our mom, our dad, our fellow friends, our whatever it is, we are to do like Christ did. And it says there that as we seek to imitate him, with certainty. Knowing that if we do the very best we can, we shall secure the prize. It says that only one person, it said there, gets the prize. And I didn't write down the what she said about that, but Miss White said that prize is different than running a race to win like a marathon or something, and win first place. You get that glory of, I'm the best marathon runner in the world, let's say. The prize that we're running for is to be and to bring people to Christ himself. That's what it is. And we as leaders are trying to bring that very thing, these children, to know and run that same race with us. The best way to ever, I used to run marathons back in the day when I wasn't old. That's why I've had to have both my hips replaced, because I did it when I was young. So I was still growing, and then I made my hips go oblong instead of round, so I had to replace my hips later on in life. And it wasn't because it's just because of me running. But I used to run those, and when I ran those marathons, I would run with great authority and the best way I could run so that I could finish top of my class or whatever age group I was in. And it was lots of fun to do because people really praised you and all of that. But when I wanted to have, if somebody come to me and ask, how do you do that, I would teach them. And the way I would teach them is not by, now when you run, you got to do it this way, or when you do this, you have to do that. I would ask them and tell them, come run with me. That's what I would tell them. You want to learn how to do it, come run with me. And we would run together. And they would watch how I ran and learn how to do the very thing that I was doing. Just as we need to do with every single person that we reach in this world. The race that we're running is not only so that we finish with a great victory of I made it, but we come and we finish with more than just us doing it, if you know what I'm saying. It's important for us to remember that very thing. I did the same thing when I was roofing when I was younger. I was in Montana. You can ask any roofer that's an older roofer who Roofer Rob is, and they would tell you. He was the best roofer in Montana. And everybody wanted to learn from me that same thing. And I would tell them, first thing you have to do is forget everything you ever knew before and watch what I do. Not, well, if you do this, you do that, and then you do this over there, and then, no, I had to show them, I had to teach them. And many, well, I think probably about 8 people became good in being able to do it. Right? Just like we teach our trades to our kids, we do that. Just like we teach the scripture to the kids to help them know who Christ is. That is who we are. That is what we need to do at all times. Hebrews 12, 1 and 2 says, therefore we also, since we are surrounded by a great cloud of witness, it says that we need to lay aside every weight and the sin that so easily ensnares us. It's important for us to do that very thing and teach the kids how to do that with themselves. Because one thing about it is, sin is all around us. No matter where it is, it's more around us today than it ever was before. With phones and with TV and with that very, TV is different than it was when I was a kid. I had to set up an antenna and go like this to get to the station, right? Now today, it's just right there, boom, you watch everything. And I think it's important for us that to teach our children and teach people around us that what goes in here is what's in here. So if we have more of Scripture, we have more of Bible, we have more of that very thing coming in, that's what's going to be up here and keep us safe from the evil ones. I think that's important to us. That was part of that shield, right? That God gave us, right? That armor that we put on. It's important for us to have that so that that stuff doesn't come up here, but we have right here what we need to have, which is Christ and Christ alone. It tells us that we still need to run that race with endurance. And I call that to you today. Each one of us, our kids, all you guys, run that race that God has set before you. Us here as teachers, as people that are going out, I say to run that race, run it with endurance to help these kids, to help people that you are studying with, to help your churches understand what needs to happen. Because sometimes even the leadership, as I've spoken, is changing in who our church is. And our church is a church. So remember, with everything, that we need to look into Christ. Jesus, the one that says there that is the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross that was set before him. Endured the cross. The cross, despising, the shame, the worst thing that could ever happen, he endured that for us. Are we ready to endure that for others? Are we wanting to be that way for other people? That is our choice. that we have to make so we can run that race that is so good. Sometimes running a race is hard. When you ran a marathon, I want you to know something. Anybody ever run a marathon? 26 miles. The long marathon. I'm going to tell you something about the long marathon. And I believe I'm going to say this because I believe it with wholeheartedly. We're at the very end of the marathon right now. We're in the last 3 miles. The last 3 miles, they call it the wall. Because when you get to that point, you're like, I can't make it. Have you did it?
I did it, yeah, but mine came at like the marathon thing because I did a 50K.
A 50K, right.
So if you have that wall.
You hit that wall and you're like, oh my Lord. I was 14 years old. I'm going to tell you this. I was 14 years old. My parents had to sign me to even run this marathon. This is so funny. And I practiced, all right, but I didn't know nothing about running a marathon. It was my first marathon. And I went out there and I says, yeah, I'm going to run. So I ran about 5 miles a day. I rode a bike around a little bit. Yeah, I'm great. So I took off and I'm back in about the 3-hour range, 4-hour range. I figured I can run that 4 hours, no problem. Well, everybody's walking. I'm 14. I'm hyper like these guys, right? Boom, so I take off. I'm running. I'm passing people. I'm just having a good time like Forrest Gump. I'm running. I was running, right? Boom, off I go. And the next thing you know, there's nobody around me, but these people, there's 5, 10 guys. I guess it was 10 guys in front of me. These were the top 10 runners in America. I was running with them. I was on the news. I was a special kid. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just running. I was having a great time, running along. And I'm going to tell you this, mile 23 hit. Both my calves froze up. I was doing this thing. Oh, it was so hard. I couldn't hardly even go. And people come on, you can do it, you can do it. And then, you know what happened? Guy, you know what happened? You've heard it, right? You remember? What happened? A girl passed me. And I said, I can't have that. Oh, and I tried so hard. Finally, I had 2 or 3 people help me along, got me up over this stupid hill, because right at the end, it was in Mile High. It was in Denver. It was the Mile High right past that's where you have to go up, and then you have to go down to the finish line. Oh, Lord. I almost died. But I came in, what was it, 350, I think it was, out of all of those people. There was 4,000 people or something. And I finished that race. But that wall, when you hit that, it's like you're done. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to finish. And you don't even care. And no matter how many electrolytes they jam in you, you're like, I don't care. I don't want to go anymore. But when you finish that race, the joy that you have, and that's what I'm talking about, that joy that you guys will get when you follow God the rest of your life, that's super important. And you put Him first in your life, that's the greatest goal ever. And just like us, we're at that point right now. We're at that brick wall, man. We're hitting that wall right now, and it's so hard just to stay true to God and do His will. That's what I pray that we keep doing. We have to stand up for each other. We have to help each other through our situations. And I'll tell you this, I want to give each other my number and everything. But if you guys ever are having a hard time, you can give me a call. Because I'll talk with anybody. Because that's who I am. And we could talk through serious situations or whatever it is. Because that's what God really wants us to do, is help each other. Run that race the best that we can run it. And we can only do that with each other. So with that, for a blessing upon all you right now. Lord, I want to thank you for this opportunity that you give us to run this race. Every one of us get to run it. Every one of us get to do what you have asked us to do. Every one of us, when we choose that, have to do our best. And Lord, I pray, number one, that you'll give us the strength to do that through you. But also, Lord, that you will help us as leaders and the kids soon to be leaders to be able to help others on this journey. Because right now, I believe we're at that last point where soon and very soon you're going to be here to take us home. And we want to do as much as we can for you, for this glory and this, for your glory and not for our own. So Lord, keep us strong, keep us with you in every way. And Lord, also again, I want to pray for Melissa in a very special way. That Lord, you will take that away, whatever it is right now. That high heart rate, that very thing that is scaring her, because it's scary when things like this happen. And Lord, we know that you can do that healing. You will do that healing, because you promised you will. When we asked you, you will answer in a mighty way. So we pray, Lord, that this will be your your will is. And we thank you for that. And thank you for your love, because, Lord, you love us so much that you gave your only Son for us. And Lord, I pray that we keep that in mind at all times, and that we have our lives for you. We thank you again for everything. Be with us as our last meeting, Lord, in your name. Amen. Thank you.
Let's take a short break. We're going to get set up and then Okay.
I'm gonna give you a suggestion. Go ahead and make sure your seat is pushed back just a little bit. Oh, yeah. Then you can't color. Oh,
No,
yeah,
you
that's
can't
color.
color. You're supposed to be David, ain't you?
You're not a Marine.
I thought I
This is what I know a little bit more than outreach. I'm going to have a little bit more passion and
Well, and he threw outreach together last night, so.
so this is what I know a lot more, and I'm going to have a little bit more with it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, so the objectives, club opening exercises. That should be the first thing that Pathfinders hear. Pathfinders fall in. And if adventurers are there, you can add adventurers also. All right, yes, we're gonna also go over opening exercises. I alluded to that earlier. Opening exercises is very important because it separates the everyday. Hey, I'm just running around doing my own thing. Okay, now we're in Pathfinders. It gives them a clear, concise line of now it's time to be in Pathfinders, focus on what we need to do, and continue through. We're gonna go over the philosophy of drill commands, and stationary drill. We're also going to go over marching and flight etiquette a little bit. I don't know exactly how much time we're going to have for all of that, but we're going to try and get through everything, okay? All right. As I said, the first thing that they should hear when they come in is fall in, okay? Once everybody's in there, your opening exercises should include the law, the Pathfinder adventure. They should recite both.
If you do it together.
If you do it together. If you don't, then the adventurers can do it and the Pathfinders can do it. Yes, I know, Kalispell, we're working toward opening ceremonies, but
You saw the look, didn't you?
yeah. You should sing the Pathfinder Adventure song.
We do. In the ventures.
I know. We're working on that. Opening prayer. You can do a worship thought in there. Oh, attendance, yes. Attendance needs to be put in there so that that goes into your reporting. The reporting goes to the conference puts that
Helps you,
into.
like, especially if you're doing like half of an honor here and half of an honor there. You know, who's been there for the first portion, who's there for the second portion, a quick attendance. And I can send some of you this if you're interested. I have just a printout where I have all our Pathfinders' names on it. And then I have like location, what was accomplished, and then I just have an area where I can put an X by their name. It's super easy to go through. I know who was there, and then I just fill in what we did or what our location was at the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need that.
During this time, because being that I've never did this, I kind of just play it by ear.
Yep.
You fall in, you recite your pledge, you do that, you sing your Pathfinder song, and then you still stand while you're doing worship and all that? Or
No, you
So typically what we
can have
do,
them take seats.
I just wondered, because,
Like-
Nancy,
we've always done our clubs together. So we had Pathfinders on the right side of the sanctuary, or the right side from the front, but adventurers on the other side, and we'd have them just in like the front or second pews, depending on how many we have. And then everybody falls in. They stand up for that. Then we have usually an opening prayer. Some of the Pathfinders comes up. And then at that point, we would say, okay, Pathfinders, you can take seats. We work with the adventurers. They kind of need that focus. So we get them going first. You know, they do their law, their pledge, their song. Then they get to sit down and take a short break while the Pathfinders do theirs. If you have TLTs, they have a separate pledge that they do as well.
Oh, we have one TLT.
Yeah, so
And
they need to start memorizing that
Part of that
pledge.
is getting up in front and doing their portion in front. It's a very.
And get them into
Rachel,
the
can you do
leading,
this?
get them into doing the
We just
pledges.
have to make her do it, though.
Maybe
Because she
Sammy
knows
and
that she
Rachel
needs
can-
to do it.
Just have her bring a piece of paper,
Yeah.
that's how they learn it, it's,
Okay.
and by the way, for master guides, I don't know if you know this, but there is a separate song for us too.
We have a song.
Yes.
Are we gonna learn it?
It is slightly hard to follow sometimes.
Oh, great.
I'm not sure when it was exactly made, but timing might be slightly off on it.
Okay.
But that's for the musically inclined to complain about.
Right.
But yeah, so that's usually what we do. Then we usually have everybody sit. We kind of go over a general schedule. This is what we're going to be doing today. You have, 45 minutes for class work. So we did ours on Sundays. So we would do about 4 hours, and so we would split it up. They would have Adventurers would go to snack while the Pathfinders went to drill. Then they would switch out. Adventurers would go outside for some physical activities while the Pathfinders had snack time. They'd come back in for maybe some book work or an honor. Just kind of give it like that back and forth. So we just let them know ahead of time, these are going to be your timelines. Try to kind of stick
I
by, obviously.
like that. I like that.
I wish we could do stuff with Adventure Club.
And for snack time, it's really easy. We would do things like, we would just have like a burrito, like really small shells, and then just a little bit of beans or something, fold it up, put them in the oven, and they're warmed, and then they have like a fruit or a small drink
I
with
like
it.
that because I'm noticing with our adventures, some of them, I know, at least with,
Well, especially if you're around dinner time, and that's.
we're
they're
at
not
6 o'clock
focused.
on Monday. I'm literally throwing food at my kids as we're walking out the door because we have to be there so early, that they're still hungry. At 8:30, 9 o'clock, they're coming home and going, Mama, I'm hungry. And I'm like, well, now it's time for bed. You gotta get up in the morning and go to school.
Yeah.
So that can be a way to interrupt kind of their, so they have a break for their mind, let it relax. So we just kind of let them know that, and then we'll have like a closing prayer, like, hey, we're gonna go out, we're gonna try to do our best, everybody, so we'll have a prayer, and then everybody goes into where, we had Pathfinders and Adventurers in different rooms, so they would just separate to their
Right.
rooms and start working.
Perfect.
We did find that with the snack, we had a few parents, quite a few parents that did not want their kids eating that late or had very special dietary things, and it became more of an issue than it was worth
And
at certain
if that's
points.
what
Yeah,
your
it's
club
gonna be
runs,
based
then-
on your club.
Yeah, you
like,
could-
we're just saying what worked for
Yeah.
Sure.
the Texaco Club. Like, there's always going to be differences. Ours was on Sunday. It's a little bit easier for us to be like, hey, and we did have dietary restrictions also. We had very,
That's why our burritos generally were, if they were just beans and rice or just beans, they wouldn't have cheese
Exactly.
in them, just in case we had somebody who had,
all right, announcements. She already went over opening prayer and then all right.
I had one.
Yep.
On attendance, I have, it's called, I call it the adventure honor, adventure roll or something like that. And I have the honor we're working on, the date we're working on it, and then I add all the kids' names in it. Is that okay to do, or do I need something like you, where it's
so you can get to, the worship spots, you're not taking so much time up, just taking an attendance, and so having it already pre-printed out, that way, and I have slots below, so if I had a Pathfinder show up that wanted to join and they're new, I can add their name in.
Okay.
But it just works out easy for me, because all I do is check, okay, they're done. And it takes me like 30 seconds to take attendance, whereas if I'm writing everybody's name down over, that takes a
Takes
while.
forever.
We have a sign-in, sign-out sheet for every
Yeah.
time, so that seems to work for us.
Yeah,
So,
we-
everyone
And
That way
then-
we just know who they lead with too, so.
Yeah.
And then we can see who's there and mark it down that they were there for that honor. I just keep the honors, I print out just not the worksheet, but the other one, and then I write down, for me, that's worked, but that does sound super easy too, just to be able to do that. So, I mean, there's lots of ways.
There are many ways to skin a cat.
Yep.
All right. Why do we teach drill and march in Pathfinders?
Yeah, why?
Teach discipline.
Discipline and orderliness. Teaches young people to follow commands.
And teamwork, because you have
You
to be
guys-
able to work together as a team to do it.
Teamwork and unity. Okay?
It helps them listen.
Mhm. If
Gives them
If you
confidence.
hear, whenever we call out Pathfinders, whatever it is, everybody kind of, what's next? That's from drilling and marching. That's from the command voice that is used to get their attention immediately. The Kalispell and Libby saw that as we were having them all run around doing their camping. Pathfinders, this, all in, whatever it is, it gets their attention, it gets them back to it. It improves physical development, it's good for conditioning and developing through structured movement. Self-confidence, we had, so the way that we ran it in the Texaco Club, I would teach them all of the commands. I would teach them how to do the marching, how to do all of the rubric so that you can go to fair and you can do good at the competition. And then leadership skills, the first year I selected one of the TLTs and I said, I want you to run the drill and march because I can run the drill and march. I was in the military for 16 years. I've marched in infantry. Didn't ride in the cavalry because I wasn't in the cavalry. I'm not gonna go there. But I can do that. But can they? First year, brought him out, one of the TLTs. He did amazingly. He went through everything. He missed one command, hand salute.
I got second place.
They got second place for that one because they did miss one
On the
command.
rubric.
One of the rubric, but they still did good. Do you think that he will miss hand salute the next time that he does it? Okay, so that's the reason. The next year, one of the quiet Pathfinders, the ones that you don't see out in front, the TLTs. She was in Voyager. Can't
No,
remember.
Voyager.
Yeah, she was Voyager. She came out. I like to do the Pathfinder. The drill and
You
march.
hardly hear her, she barely speaks out.
And I'm like, are you sure? Because you, like,
need to be loud.
everybody has to hear you, and I don't hear you at all. So, Eliana comes out there, and she's like, I can do it. I want to do it. And I'm like, all right, you got to show me. You're going to start doing it. You're going to take over. I had already gone through with the friends that had come up from that second year that we did it. They knew how to march. And I'm like, all right, Eliana, you're going to take over. Little quiet Eliana gets out there and absolutely belts it to everyone. People in the back can hear her calling out these commands. They go to fair again, and you could see when they got done. They were very nervous before they did it. Everybody, like a couple of people were messing up on a little small things. Practices, they were still a little bit rocky, and I'm like, you guys are gonna go out there and you're gonna do your best. That's all that we can ask of you. They go out there, they went through absolutely everything. Everybody comes back and they're beaming. We didn't know where they had placed, what any of their deductions were, anything like that. We got one deduction.
1 point.
1 point because one person,
Didn't execute one of the turns smoothly.
right, it was just barely out of time. So one little itty bitty mess up. And that's perfectly fine because they still went from,
He was also a friend.
yes. So grace comes into it. All right, practical application.
They got first place by the way on that, so.
That's awesome.
And Eliana very, very much surprised as to how.
It was
how
amazing
much-
to see her blossom, just
Yes.
from this mouse, hardly speaking, to this little mini commander. It was just so beautiful.
You're just like, where did that voice come from?
I know, I'm so proud of her.
All right, the practical application. It prepares Pathfinders for official events such as parades, camporees, and other public ceremony occasions. How many people have been to a parade and with Pathfinders and don't know how to march? by the reviewing stand. They don't know how to do eyes right. They don't know who is supposed to call it for each of the clubs. These are things that go into drill and march and how we have to do it. This.
No,
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then their confidence, like, and so this is the thing, is like if you understand, and you don't have to be perfect, but if you understand some of the basics, then they feel confident because you are guiding them. And so that's gonna be one of the keys there.
Yes. As we talked about also, one of the other things, enjoyment. Do you think that the Northeast Navigators, the Texas Club, when they came off that drill, that they did not enjoy it? Every single one of them was smiling ear to ear because they knew that they did good. They went out there and they did their best. But they did it as a team, the cohesiveness of a team, and making sure that they're doing it to the best of their ability. Okay? And I just went over all those, sorry. All right. The philosophy of drill. When we teach drill, there is no attempt to make soldiers out of Pathfinders. I started off as a Pathfinder. I went from there, joined the military at 21 years old, okay? Yes, I took that path. The military took the amount of stuff that I knew from Pathfinders and turned it into the Army. And I was made into a soldier. That is not what we are trying to do with Pathfinders at all. It should be fun for them. It should not be 3 hours of drilling in the hot sun. It should be 20 minutes. I don't know how many of you guys have printed this off or have bought this from Advent Source. This is the NAD's Pathfinder Drill Manual. Okay? It goes into all of the different nitty-gritties about this. One of the main things that it says in there, the same thing, we should not use punishment. We don't mete out corporal punishment. We don't make Pathfinders do push-ups when they do a left face run.
Yeah, there was a drill instructor, I told some of you, in Texaco, who wanted them to be perfect, and he would grab a handful of pebbles, and if one of the Pathfinders messed up, he would kind of help them with pebbles. So that's not what our job is here. We want to encourage the kids. Yes, we want them to try their best. Yes, we want to try for them to gain that perfection of march. But at the same time, that grace comes in. We're not here to hound them if they don't immediately catch on, or that's not our job. We're here to encourage the confidence, to try, give it your best. That's what we're here for.
This is Pathfinders is a youth ministry, not a fighting force. But we can use drill to help them to gain the confidence, to understand the teamwork, and to move in a precise manner as we help them grow. And the last point on there is you should not ask any Pathfinder to do something you are not willing to do yourself.
now
Yes.
the 20 minutes, would that go for adventurers as well, or should we cut their drill time down to like 15?
So sometimes with them, we do like semi-size with their drills sometimes. Like I told her, we do like the rock in the hand to help them with their rights and lefts. Sometimes it's just, we do play the right and left game, right, they raise the right arm, left, they raise and it helps them kind of cement some of these ideas of what they're going to be doing. So the actual portion where they're doing like a left face, right face is loose. It may be 5 or 10 minutes of that.
Okay.
And then, like I said, we don't go through necessarily all of it. We teach them like some basics, maybe a hand salute, rights, lefts. Occasionally, if they get used to it, maybe an about face, but some of these things are going to be, as you notice, like the ability to move past what they've been learning, start with just the basics.
And the other thing that you'll see with adventurers is that they're not going to do the crisp right face. They're going to kind of do the jump, swing, all different kinds of
That's
stuff. They're
not
not, but
emphasize-
that's okay. They're just learning the, hey, let's move in this direction. It's less about the precision
And
of
if
the
you
drill.
have an adventurer who's been in for years, you'll start to notice that they get more precise. And you're still teaching them the basics, you're still, and so they will get there, but,
Okay.
you know, if they're new to it, it's not gonna happen overnight that they're.
Yeah, a lot of
And
our,
unlike, so some of our Pathfinders are go home and just practice these things over and over because they wanted to come back and be able to do it. Adventurers don't have that mentality yet. They're not going to go home and practice it. They're gonna be like, Mom, look what I learned, and just do it maybe once or twice, and then that's about it.
okay.
All right. Next thing we're going to go over is the parts of a command. Okay? So when you have a couple of different kinds of commands. You have two-part commands. You have preparatory and command of execution. Pathfinders, left, face. That's technically 3, but the left is the preparatory. The Pathfinders is telling who needs to do it. Left is telling the Pathfinders which direction, and face is the command of execution. So if you call left face and they start to move,
On left.
that's drawing blank. Expecting. They have to wait for the command of execution. Face is the command of execution, so it's left face. It's not left. We're going to move our feet. No.
Start
That's-
turning.
It's anticipating the command. Okay. All right. Combined commands fall in. You can add Pathfinders, adventurers fall in. That would technically make it a 2-part command. But they are, if you're speaking to the Pathfinders and you just say fall in, that is a combined command. Fall out, dismissed, at ease, and rest are all combined commands because you don't have to give the preparatory command. It's implied. Okay? All right, directives. Directives are usually a little bit different, but it's usually, okay, we are doing the flag raising ceremony at Camp Reed, and the conference is standing up there and they say, all right, directors, take charge of your clubs and move them to their next activity. That is a directive coming from the conference to subordinate units. It can also be used in Pathfinders as counselors, take charge of your units, move them to their classes, that kind of idea. It is a directive. Okay? Does everybody understand my explanation? All right. I would like to briefly go over flag etiquette. Okay? This is something that, of course, is near and dear to my heart because, well, military, that kind of stuff. And I have issue when it is done wrong. And I try to keep that in check. But I think that when we're dealing with the flag, we should do it respectfully. It is our nation's flag, and we should instill that same amount of discipline to the children, to the Pathfinders, because even if they do not take the same path that I did, I went to the military. I do not advise them they go to the military. Some of them may, but they still need to understand how to pay proper respect to the flag, okay? When, I'm gonna have to use, I'm gonna try and draw it out real quick.
I can just talk you through it. Talking about the raising of the flag. So generally, for raising a flag, you're gonna have about 6 individuals, 6 Pathfinders. You can do it with as many as 4, unless you have somebody who's really long. I've seen it done, I think, once with 3. It makes it a little bit more difficult, but it can be done. The commands for it would be, you're going to march to the flag. When they get there,
So I'm gonna do this the simplest way. Like she was saying, you can have 4 or 6. It works best with 6. You're best if you have them
Staff can be included.
Yes. You're best if you have them directly in line with the flagpole, okay? So that you don't have to give any commands. For this, conference will call the Pathfinders, tell them to fall in, and then whoever is in charge, if you have one of the Pathfinders in charge, do that. Or you can have a detail commander, okay? When it's done this way, the preparatory command is not Pathfinders, because then that'll be addressing everyone else. You just say detail, forward march. All 6, 7. There's 7 right here, so we'll do it this way. We'll march to the flagpole. You tell them, detail halt. At this point, everybody's facing toward the flag. How do you get them to all face in? Command is center, huh?
It's a multiple command.
Or it can be center face. Center face tells all of them to do a left or right face.
To come to the center.
Center face is another command that they can use, okay? If you are raising the flag, you're going to have it depends on where you have the flag. You're going to hold the flag, you're going to unfurl the flag with all of the 6 people. Get it ready to raise. So you're going to make sure that your Union Jack, the blue part, is on the top hook that's going up the flagpole. Make sure that is in the right orientation, or you will raise it upside down. And we're not in distress. That's what that means. But you unfurl the flag in their hands. So they will hold the flag like they're doing in this picture. Palms up, thumbs on top of the flag. Okay. At the command from the conference of present arms, the flag goes up the flagpole. Okay?
That would be the 2 that are closest to the flagpole, or then the one's going to be attaching it to the hooks, and then
Everyone else here
it
is
up.
to hold the flag. Flag doesn't touch the ground. And then for retiring the flag, it's almost the same, there's just slight differences. You still march up, still do the center face, and then
Detail retire the flag.
detail retire the flag. You have them prep the halyard, undo the rope from the cleat at the base of the flagpole, and then basically the commander needs to look at conference, make sure that they're ready to call, present arms, to lower the flag, okay? When the flag is lowered, you have to prepare your Pathfinders that are up here in these first rows right here. You need to catch the flag and pass it back.
So usually the one that's going to be on the left is the one that's going to be controlling the rope. The one that's going to be on the right here is going to grab the bottom of the flag and pass it along to the rest of the Pathfinders in this detail, so that way they can end up with it flat again and ready to fold.
Okay. At another point, we can go over how to fold the flag. That's also something that you go through in investiture.
Well, just basically when you're doing this, you're going to tell them. So when they have it straight out, detail step, they step in, then they go back out, detail step, they step back, they step in again, and then once they have it folded again, then they can start the triangle fold to go down until it's done. Then it is given to one of, usually the front, so you usually have the older ones in the front, the younger ones, because they're learning it. And then they do a pass-off usually with conference. So the flag is placed on their chest as they walk. Then they lower the flag, they place their hand, then they're going to turn it in their hands so that it is facing towards the back is facing towards the person.
The
flag.
triangle, it makes a triangle. You want the triangle when you transport the flag,
Point.
you walk, the point is march to the official,
Lower it.
lower it,
Turn
rotate
it.
once, twice, pass it to the conference.
As
Conference
they will salute you, they pass it to the conference. Once you're done, they salute them, and then they get to go back to the detail. Then the detail is then detail about face, and then they
Then you're
March
marched
out.
out. Okay? That is the basic idea of how it should be done. There are slight differences, but
how everybody does it. But
yeah. Some people do a two-part command to get them to
left face, right face, left column,
first,
right face.
first column left face, second column right face, so that they can get them to
We
center
just
face.
thought center face was easier.
Hey, I like doing center face because it's one command and they all know it. Yes.
Is there a proper way to practice folding and unfolding a flag without actually having it go up and down a flagpole?
There is
Yes.
nothing that says that you cannot do a practice with your
Okay.
detail. I did about 3 because I was told at 12 o'clock that
We were
the
protecting
conference
the flag.
was requesting the Gators, which was the Alamosa Club, and none of them had marched.
None of them marched in detail. They've marched before, but they've never marched in
Very,
detail.
Okay.
very small numbers. So I had to do this quickly, and we were retiring the flag. The people that did the halyard and the catching of the flag, when she turned the flag over to the conference, she saluted with the wrong hand.
Yeah.
You think that she ever is going to salute with the wrong hand ever again? Because she knew it.
She was so
immediately.
upset afterwards. I told her it's a simple mistake.
It is a simple mistake.
You won't make it again. You will. That will be cemented in your mind. It's a learning. It's a learning chance.
And this is not about, oh, well, now I need to berate this team that just went out there and did a great job at retiring the flag. This is just, okay, well.
And they had
made a
so many
mistake.
people come up and thank them for it. So
And it's also about the respect to the flag. Yes, we are an entity, we are a youth group, we are a ministry to the kids. It's teaching them the respect so that they understand how to properly respect the flag.
and then Pathfinders can also be asked to do retirement ceremonies for a flag. So a flag that's been too damaged. So we have done some of those, but
Going into that portion of the flag. Unserviceable flags, are they burned? And how?
I've always turned mine into the Elks Club and they've done it.
Okay,
You
so
do
that is,
that.
that is known as a cremation. It is not burned. Yes, it is, fire is used to accomplish it, but it is a respectful ceremony that you should do with your Pathfinders if you have the chance. Because it teaches them the full cycle of the flag. This flag is too damaged to accurately use. It is not a good representation of the United States. And we need to retire that flag. It is a ceremony that you do. You can look it up, but it's basically taps is played, Pledge of Allegiance, and then it is presented to the fire. Everyone salutes. It's a very simple ceremony, but it is a whole lot different than we hate America, I'm going to burn a flag. Please don't do that in front of me because I cannot guarantee how my reaction will be, okay? Because I have fought under that flag. Okay? All right. What are your questions? I do not know everything. I guarantee that, but I will do my best. Yes.
Could we do one in Kalispell, a flag
I am-
retiring
I
ceremony?
am planning on it. I have to get everything set up. for it.
Okay, let
And
me
I
know.
will, because I really
Kalispell,
want
and so Kalispell's flags we need.
Well, I've got a couple of unserviceable flags that I need, that I've been holding on to, that I need to retire.
And then that is
Okay, so
a
with the
perfect time to-
retirement of an unserviceable flag versus retiring the flag, are two different things, but we can practice both.
Yeah, it's like I've got a couple of them that they were really faded and tattered, and we just took them down, and folded them very nicely and put them in bags, and I'm holding on to them.
Yes.
There are two different types of flags that you can use. One is a weather flag, so you can be outside. That's what you would put up in your camping green. And
There is
then
a storm flag,
then
and then
there
there's
is
a ceremonial
a
flag.
ceremonial flag. Those usually have the fringe on them.
It
Right?
has
That's
the
how
yellow
knows
around it,
the
and it looks
difference.
fancy. That is a
But those are
ceremonial
interior flags
indoor
that
flag.
we use only in graves.
You have different types. And, yes,
Any more help, we have some target in the flag, let me know.
we will set it up.
I
'Cause
always try.
Question.
I like doing it the right way, yes, yes.
Do you use field uniforms, or are you supposed to be in the dress uniform, Class A?
Class A's.
Class A, so
You-
it's not
you-
even for practicing?
Not for practice, but anytime we're doing it in
The
front
actual
of
ceremony.
a group, if you're at fair or whatnot, you'll be in your Class A's. And when we do the retiring of the flag,
Yeah.
out of respect, we're in our Class A's.
And
Why
they're, in most cases, supposed to be wearing gloves.
That's
Not
what I was
every-
about to ask.
Not every club has gloves. Sometimes conference has them and can distribute them, and then they're just brought back. That depends on the conference, to whether they have them or not.
We
I
do
don't
have
think so.
That I do know we have.
I don't think so. Right now, I'm in the process of trying to get, also the, harnesses for carrying the flags, because, conference doesn't have those either. So Matt and I told, Josh that we would get those, because, I mean, if we're carrying the flags, then it should be done right. So,
And I do know we have gloves. I think we have like 6 pairs.
Castle does?
Council does.
Okay.
Because we have used them on when we've done our induction, not
So, and then,
induction,
what we can do is we
investitures.
can also just bring those with us to any of the events, and then they can be, borrowed, used, and then, so usually you try to, change it up, so you'll have one club do the, raising of the flag, and then in the evening you have another club. What that also means is you're getting up, you're making sure you're in your Class A's ahead of time. You can immediately get out of your Class A's after you're done doing your ceremony, and then you get back into a Class C uniform or whatever you guys have chosen for the day. But every time it is raised or retired, they are going to be in the uniform.
Okay.
All right, so what I want to go over real quick, and then we're going to go into the how to teach them the stationary commands. That's the next portion that we're going to go into, but I was going to go over the review. So for if you're marching in a parade, you will have a reviewing committee, or you will have the officials, okay? They will be stationed on the unit's right, okay? As your club, these all your people, you don't have that many people, just erase dots in your mind, okay? Your director should be in the front. If you have a banner, banner should be right here, okay? As you are marching up, when you are about a 45-degree angle off of the reviewing party, you will call, so either the director or the drill instructor. If the drill instructor is standing out here, the drill instructor or the director, if you're the same person and you're standing up here, you need to make yourself known, and you will call eyes right.
That means every column but the column that is closest to the table.
This column right here. You need to tell your Pathfinders. They will continue to look straight. They are not being disrespectful. They are keeping the unit in order. Okay? Every other person in the unit will look to the right. Okay? Director, at this point, when you call eyes right, you will render a hand salute and turn your body slightly. You don't have to do walking like this, but you can turn your head slightly and look at the reviewing party as you march past. It takes a little bit. You might want to practice it a little bit, because marching is not something that we go over, but it is something that is very important for when you are doing a pass and review.
When you do the pass and review as well, you may have a club in front of you that doesn't march as quickly. And if you do, you may have to tell your Pathfinders to do a over it, but just a slower march than time or
Mock time?
mark. Yep.
You can do a march time, or you can just have them slow up. You just be
But
like,
just be aware you don't want to end up with this kind of movement between your club. It makes it kind of hard. So.
as your unit passes the reviewing party, you tell them to go back to ready front, okay? But you still have to call it, okay? As they go past and they can no longer see a reviewing party, they're supposed to turn their eyes, as they're marching, they're supposed to turn their head and their eyes back straight forward to continue marching, okay?
It's like 5 to 10 seconds, and their eyes are this way, and then they're gonna come back to.
But then you call ready front, the director, you can have your deputy director, co-director up there also, or yeah, we've done it with my wife and I and the director. He was the closest to the reviewing party. I called the command, since I was up there already. It's the way that she wanted it done. She was the director, that's how we did it. It can be with the deputy directors up here. But then, ready front is called, you drop your salute, and you continue marching. After the reviewing party, it's usually just a little bit more, and then you're done. Yes.
Would you recommend, since Council has Pathfinders and Adventurers, but the Adventurers have little legs, would you recommend them be in front, right behind the directors,
So they should be,
or following the Pathfinders?
they should be the ones that are up here.
Usually they're at the front.
Okay.
And, I mean, it depends on how Montana Conference specifically does it, but usually they're gonna be at the front, because they're also gonna set the pace for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I've heard it done two ways. We put the Pathfinders in front because they know how to march, so the Adventurers follow their lead.
That comes back to making sure that they understand at least
Some of the basics.
of how to march.
You're not gonna be doing
And
your right
they're-
movements, it's just,
Their legs are like, we understand you. But and how to just do it, and then they want to be the Pathfinder.
And it kind of gives them something to do with their hands because they have to hold
Yep.
the banner.
And now, if you have more adventurers, then you have spaces on the banner. Make another ring behind them, put the
it's
Pathfinder right behind them so that they can,
usually 3 at max on a banner.
yes.
Cool.
It gets too hard for them to move forward with more than that. So we've usually kept it to 3 at max, so 1 on either side, 1 in the middle. Kind of support it and keep it level. Maybe not drag it around. You could potentially do 4 as long as they have practiced and walked together. But I wouldn't do much more than that.
Okay.
It just, you end up with some of the really slower ones, some of the faster ones, and then the banner's going kind of sideways.
Or on
and
the ground.
You're trying to get them to, wait, slow down, please. Yeah.
All right, any questions before we go into stationary drill? All right. Good. Staff, all the way over here. We're gonna have Pathfinder all over here. Okay?
You gotta come over too, I was getting set up.
Is Junior recording everything for us to review?
Yes, I'm recording.
Because I need him to watch this because he's missing.
Jonathan, you get set up, you gotta go. Because you're gonna do it too. You don't have to sit there and watch.
All right, so when we fall into position of tension. Position of tension. You put your heels together. Place your toes out about 45 degree angle, okay? About like this. You stand erect. Keep your head and eyes straight forward. Do not lock your knees. You will pass out. You will hit the ground. It is not love, okay? You gotta understand, why when you go do that. Slightly bend your knees, okay? Head nice, straight forward. Your hands. Need you to curl all of your fingers together. Put your thumb on that first finger. Okay? I want you to push your thumb against the seam of your trousers, shorts, skirt, whatever you have. And then you're going to place the rest of your fingers against your leg. So your arm should not be like this. It's going to be like this. Against your trousers, against your leg. Okay? Alright. Position tension, starting position for all facing the movement commands. Okay? Left face, right face. All of your about face, at ease. Parade rest. We'll go over that in a little bit. Okay? This is the starting position. This is the way you fall in. This is the way that you mark. This is the start of everything. That makes sense? Alright. Everyone knows the left from the right.
No.
I want you to keep your going through positions at all. As I said. Next position we're going to go over is rest positions at the ball. So if you are halted, you're in position of tension. This is where everything starts from. This is what continues after that. First one we're going to go over is parade rest. We're going to take your left foot, we're going to leave where it's at. Your right foot, we're going to move it about, shoulder width over you, shoulder for you, apart. Okay? So we're going to do that. Okay? Alright. Now, under tension. Alright. So we, one foot up. Alright, good. Alright, at that same time, when you place your hands behind your back at your belt level, it's a little shelf that you place your hands at. Okay? That's the next portion that you're going to do. So, you go from attention to parade rest, you will move your right foot, about shoulder width apart, and then you're going to place your hands behind your back. You place your left hand against your back, your right hand on top of it. Then you're going to interlock your thumbs like this. Okay? Alright, so we're going to stand so far. Everybody understands.
This is what you're gonna be doing.
Okay? So, parade, rest. Attention. Alright. Parade, rest. Alright, parade rest is a modified position of tension. It gives you a little bit more movement in your knees. It is still considered a position of tension, and you still have to keep your head nice straight forward. Okay? From this position, and we know this one, we go to at ease. What do you think at ease, the difference between parade rest and at ease is?
Drop it a little lower.
Drop it a little bit lower, so your hands are going to go at about your belt level. You can move
High
twice.
above your waistline.
No.
Yes.
No.
And then you're gonna drop down below the waistline.
You can move your head and eyes. That is all that you can move at ease. Okay? So, at ease, you're going to look at the person who's talking, who's addressing the formation. Okay? Wherever they walk. You're giving them your attention. Okay? Alright. The next position that we're going to go over is rest. What we think the difference between at ease and rest is. There you go. And you're allowed to move
Your right foot.
your right foot. You need to keep.
Your left foot must stay stationary so you can come back to formation.
This is what you need to use for the wiggles. Hey, they're going to be in formation for a long time. You're at Pathfinder Fair. You need them to get out that little bit of wiggles. You just keep them at rest for a little bit. Hey, get your wiggles up. All right, they're getting ready to start. All right, Pathfinder. Attention. All right. Pathfinder. Parade. Rest. Next position we're going to go frequently drill in Pathfinders in the military. And that is,
Prayer attention.
there you go. All right, prepare attention. Males will move their hats. Okay?
If, what, yeah.
It does not specify.
Okay.
Usually somebody to your right hand doesn't do the one on top.
Your left hand should be against your back, so if everyone uses the right hand, but the drill manual does not specify which hand it has to be used, but it specifies that males will remove their hats. At prayer attention, all you do, lower your head. When amen is said, you come back up, and then they will call you position of tension and bring you back to the formation. The formation is just a way. In the military, the only thing that we do is we do parade rest, and then the chaplain would say, would you please bow your head with me? It is a request. You do not technically have to, which does not make sense, but they cannot force religion. That is the difference between the military and Pathfinder. Random dogs today. Sorry. Okay. Does everybody understand where we're at right now? Any questions? Alright. Pathfinders, attention. Alright. We're going to start going over hand salute. This is the next portion we're going to go over. Okay? For hand salute, you take your right hand, you bring it up to your right eye. Fingers and thumbs extended to the joint. That is your right. Sorry. I have to get very fast.
Straight away from shoulders up.
Alright. The other thing that you're going to do is you're going to place your hand and whatever is farthest out. If you're wearing a hat, you place it at the corner of your hat where your eyebrow would be. If you're wearing glasses, you're going to place it at your glasses where your eyebrow would be. You need to keep your hand slightly canted down. You're not France. You do not surrender. That's the difference. Japan, when they salute, they do this because they surrender. Okay? That as a nation, they surrender. That is the reason why we do not show our hand when we salute. Okay? Not part of the Boy Scouts. Don't do this. All of our fingers extended to joint.
And bunny flags.
Thumb is always straight. Not doing this. Right? The command for this is present arms. The recovery command, or the command to terminate, is order arms. Okay? When we go from present arms to order arms, shouldn't sound like that. It's simply up, back down, back to position. Okay? Shouldn't be slapped. Right? You go into present, or when you present arms, you're going to go up and a little bit slower down. It's not an extreme exaggeration. You're not at a funeral service. That is a completely different set that we don't do in Pathfinder. Okay? A funeral salute is a lot different. Okay? The other thing that we do have is the hand salute. Okay? So it's just like present arms, but it doesn't have the termination command. Okay? It is simply a count. So if I call hand salute, you're going to 1 1,000, 2 1,000. Everybody there, okay? 1 1,000, 2 1,000. Okay? And salute. 1,000, 2 1,000. Okay? That one is used a little bit, but not a whole lot.
But they still want you to know it.
Yeah.
Well, and hand salute would be more used in like when you're doing an event flag, you're handing it off to conference, you're going to give a hand salute.
Yes.
Because all you're doing, you're not waiting for an order, this is something you're doing on your own, it's not something you can conduct you. You just prior aware of it, they will
Present arms. Order arms. Alright. We're gonna start into facing movements. Okay? I'm gonna give you guys a sheet for the facing movements. Okay? If you hear left face or right face, you're going to lift whichever toe is called. If it's a left face, you're going to lift your left toe. The right face, you're going to lift your right toe. Okay?
If you're go opposite, you're leaning forward onto the toe of the opposite foot. You're going to lift the toe of the foot that you're turning towards, so this is left face, lean back, you're gonna turn, you're gonna step. Then opposite, you're gonna do right, you're gonna do the exact opposite, lean forward on your left toe, and back on your right foot. Turn, step.
Okay? So if you lift your left toe, you're going to lift your right heel. Okay? The other thing, when you do facing movements, it's not when the preparatory command is called. Preparatory command is left face. Face is command execution. That's when you lift the toe. You have to wait until Alright, Pathfinder. Left face.
Lift your left toe. And then put it on the right knee.
Alright, so, once again, when you execute a left face, you're going to lift your left toe. You lift your right heel, and then you're going to pivot your body on your left heel. Okay? And then once you made your 90-degree turn, you're going to move your other foot back up to position of tension. Okay? Alright, Pathfinder. Left face. Remember, lift your left toe and your right heel, and then press the arm. Okay?
Sorry.
There you go. Right there. Alright. Pathfinders. Left face.
Left toe, right heel.
Left toe, right heel. There you go. Step. There you go. We'll figure it out. Alright. Pathfinders. Left face.
Left toe, right heel. Good.
Left toe, right heel. Alright. We're going to change up. Pathfinders. Right face.
Right toe, left heel. Sorry.
Pathfinders. Right face. It's not a step.
You don't have to be
It's not a
fully
step.
up on the toe of the heel.
All you have to do.
You just have to lift
Right.
the
You
leg
don't, you don't want to make yourself off
What I do
balance.
is
And it's a simple, like, I literally
Okay?
just
No,
had my
no,
knees,
no,
and when I
no,
do
no, no,
this,
no,
I'm
okay?
going to go,
You
so
just
you
lift
say my left face, I'm gonna just like bring this knee forward, that gives me more weight on this,
the heel.
and then I turn, that way I'm not off balance.
Too right.
If you're gonna go fully
Yeah,
up,
there you go. Right like that.
off balance,
That's how you
you're
try it.
gonna
Okay?
be all over
There you
this.
go.
Left versus the other.
Face.
Right.
So if you zip both of your heels,
Very good.
there you go. Push. So try and push your toes apart. There you go. And then you step to position there. All right. Pathfinders. Right face. Pathfinders. Right face.
Matt?
Yep.
Another thing that I'm seeing with the staff is they're not, when they come back for their, after their command of execution, your toes are still together. You always want to make sure they're at that 45. So that for your balance.
That's gonna be,
That helps with your balance, and it also is position of tension. Okay? Now, the other thing that you can do is if you notice that your toes don't come right together, you make small movements. Okay? But don't do none of that. Okay?
No Michael Jackson moves.
None of that. I can't do that. My knees don't do that. Okay? Minor movement. The drill instructors or the when you're doing drill march, they're not going to pick up necessarily. Not saying they won't, but they're not necessarily going to
And then go over the review. So, inspections and review.
Alright. I'm gonna have to do it. Alright, so for about face, we're going to take our right foot, we're going to lift it, and we're going to place it behind our left foot, okay? Slightly behind.
You will find what works for you. Everybody's going to be a little bit, depends on the size of
On
your
your
feet.
own. I have big dumbbells. They're warships. I have to do big steps to accomplish
I
my
barely
objective.
go behind my foot.
Okay? Alright, for this one, once you put your right foot behind your left foot,
Do
you're going
not
to
let
drop.
anybody hear about space. You feel tall, okay?
Okay.
But with that, place, you can, but wait till you have that. Okay.
It is, once again, about is the what?
Preparatory command,
And face is the,
command of execution.
okay, alright, you have to wait for face, but about tells you what you're gonna do. So,
Get your mind engaging what you have to do.
alright, once you transfer your weight to your heel, you're going to pivot, okay? You pivot on your toes, there you go, right there. If you pivot and you have to take a step, you didn't. Transfer your weight to your heel, okay? So I'm gonna do it purposely on my toe. Watch my feet. Step. Does everybody see that? If you have to take a step, you did not transfer your weight to your heel, okay? Now, like you were saying, you have to do this on your own. I cannot tell you where you need to place your right foot. I can tell you where I place my right foot, but I just know y'all I have dumbbells. I got big feet. It's not the same for every single person. You can also rest your right leg or your calf against your other calf. That helps
Your back.
give you balance. It also tells you where you need to be. I know that I need to be about midway on my calf, and the other calf needs to be dead. And then when I there's some weight, turn around. Okay? You're on your toe. You have to transfer. You're still moving.
Hands out of your pocket.
To your
Hands always in a position of tension.
okay, so move that.
You're pretty good.
Close, that's close. All right, and you're gonna put what my feet. You're gonna do more like this, okay? And you're gonna have front down. Your toe, and then you're gonna
Stay off the toes.
to your
Pivot to your heel.
and then your heel will come
Not
down.
gonna feel the press.
So if you go on your toe, bounce, and then we'll this. Add my steps, okay? Does that make sense? Alright, and then you have one pass, so you're back, so that's this. Okay? Alright, go up right here. That's flat. I don't know where you're, that's, you have. Okay, that's your bottom, you're good. You know, figure out what you're doing. Alright, Pathfinders, about face. Pathfinders, about face. Do not anticipate the command. Face, command of execution. Alright, what we're gonna go over next is open ranks march. Open ranks is used for the review of your Pathfinder club. Your area coordinators, your conference level directors will come up and they will do a uniform inspection. Do a uniform inspection. So everybody's walking together, this person walking to everybody, so we give you open ranks. Okay? Alright, on the command, open ranks march. If you have just 2 ranks, the first rank is going to take 1 full step forward. Okay? If you have 3 ranks,
Starting with,
yes, and you will move out with your left foot as marching. All right, for 3 ranks, you do it a little bit, it's slightly different. 4 ranks is even different, okay? The center rank, stay still. First rank, moves 1 step or 30 steps forward. The back rank takes 2 15-inch steps backwards, okay? Does that make sense?
They're going right over.
Yes.
If we're going forward, we don't have to worry, we can see what's in front of us, we can't see what's behind
There
us.
is, it's
22 or 4.
24.
Because they
I
can't
knew,
do
yes.
it.
So, all right, it is a 24-inch step. I'm still getting rid of my army, okay? And the army is 30-inch step. We're going to do, the first rank will do one D4-inch step forward. Back rank will do 2 12-inch steps backwards. Okay? All right, so we're going to try this. You guys are going to do how many steps forward? 1 24-inch step forward, okay?
You guys are doing
The back rank does not have to move, okay? And then when close ranks is called, we'll take 2 12-inch steps backwards. The first rank over here, you will take 2 12-inch steps backwards. The back rank will take 1 24-inch step forward. And then everybody's back in the formation. All right, we're going to try this real quick. Pathfinder. Open ranks, march. Okay. Pathfinders, close ranks, march. 2 12. Okay. All right. Pathfinder, open ranks, march. And execution. Pathfinders, close ranks, march. Here we go. All right. We're just going to briefly go over these. Pathfinders, at ease. Just going to briefly go over these so that you understand how they sound. Once you guys start marching, you always move off with your left foot, stay together as a unit. Keep your spacing. All right? Yeah. All right. We're just going to get you guys to understand it. We're not going to start rushing around just yet. But, Pathfinders, mark time, go. As you are. Pathfinders, attention. Pathfinders, mark time, march. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Pathfinders, halt. If you notice that you're off step with command call left, left, and you all kinds of things as marching, okay? But if you notice that you're off step, you do what's called a stutter step, okay?
Almost like a skip.
You're gonna not skip, and then you get back onto the left, 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 okay? That make sense?
So you're stepping down is what you're calling?
Yes. On the left, my left foot is hitting the ground. Okay, the other thing to think about is that the commander of the Pathfinders is one that calls left. And they, whatever they're at, have to need to get to. As a director, you have to make sure that you're staying, that everybody's staying in step, that's why you're calling left.
And when you do the halt, you're going to finish your natural football. So if you're on the left, you're going to finish the right football. So these calls that you're on the left, you finish the right step, and then so everybody finishes together.
All right. We're going to go over the marching commands. Very briefly, we're just going to tell you what they mean. Okay? Because we do not have the time to go through it all. Okay? All right. You got two ways that you can turn. You do a flank, Pathfinders, at ease. You can do a flank and a column. Okay? A column. Everyone in the first rank is going to wagon wheel. 90 degrees.
So they're going to generally, you're gonna take a bigger step on the right, so you're gonna left, we can go like this.
So,
You're going to make micro movements, you're going to make full movements, and I will make full steps to make a left turn. So if you're going forward, here's my foot. We're gonna be turning to the left, so if you're marching, go ahead and get your step. So left, left, right. And then as he calls a plank, so we're gonna go, call,
yeah.
all right, you're gonna turn like this. Do you see how it makes a corner? I'm gonna make bigger full steps, half steps, small micro steps.
So you
Very
can almost
fast
march
moving.
any time if you're on that inside range, okay? As everybody pivots along the lane. So like I said, okay? It is a wagon wheel. You're doing a 90-degree turn, right? That's how a column is done. A flank is a little bit different. A flank is moving the entire formation 90 degrees in the direction of call. So left flank, right flank. As you're marching,
We do it left face, and then we keep.
okay, for the commanders, when you're calling this command, you need to call it between the step. Okay? So if you're going to the left, your right foot needs to be planted.
And be aware, especially when you're doing competitions, about balls. To make sure you're preparing for that command ahead of time, you want to the balls. So if you all of a sudden need them to make a really quick turn, you're like, oh wait, I forgot, you can do this command, and then everybody turns. So that means everybody turns to the left and then moves this way.
So
Everybody
it
turns
changes
this way.
the entire formation. It's like you're doing it in left face while marching, and you're no longer marching this direction, you're marching this direction. Does that make sense? Those are the two differences between a column and a flank. Okay? Remember, column is a wagon wheel. All people on line turning 90 degrees. Okay? In whichever way it's called. Does that make sense? All right. Have half left and half right. They are called closer to a column because you do it where it is called. So everybody's marching up, and it's called half left. You move 45 degrees. It's not full 90. It's not used as much, but it is still.
Fancier drills that use that?
It is still a used term, okay? So it is a half left as you march, okay? Or a half right. Those are two different ones that you can do in half. There's also that at position of attention, you do a half right face. It is the most feared command in the military. And there's a reason for that. As half right face is what they do when they put you in the front, in the rest position, which is not a rest position at all. But we are not doing that, okay? But those are now 6 of the marching commands. To the rear march. This will be one that you will have, should we say difficult, more than likely, because it has to be called instant, and it is an entire 180 from marching direction to the way that you can, okay? It needs to be called in between the steps, so left foot up, right foot back, and continue marching, okay? That makes sense? It is a very hard one. Your Pathfinders will struggle with this one, and that's fine. Huh?
So some are going to be, you'll notice some clubs, their marching is going to be more like a walk, and some are going to do a full march, whereas the knee is lifted. That's going to depend on who's directing them to what they usually use.
And how you're developing them. Because they will, as you do drill and march, they will continue to get better at it if you continue with it. 20 minutes per club is what help practice. So our club, in Mexico, they would come in and drill on another day so that they got better. They improved themselves to get better. Okay? It takes practice. It's not something that you're just gonna pick up and like a marching. Marched for 16 years in the military, marched with Rays, done all kinds of marching, and I still mess things up all the time. Okay? It's about continuing to improve yourself and to teach Pathfinders how to attempt, or how to do this and how to attempt it very good. Do I have any other questions?
When marching with the adventurers, should we try any of the fancier moves?
Not until you notice that they're all
Once-
pointed and going. Or
Once you
get
see,
separated, go
once
different.
you see that that they're understanding it, but you also think you have a wide range of abilities and where they're going to.
And like with that,
Yeah.
everything else will come easier
If they can do the left and right,
Yes, I can.
and then go to Pathfinders, and then at least at Pathfinders you can start out with the left and the right, and they can stay in position of attention, that's great. But get them, like start them on that journey. So it's not just gonna be a, well, adventurers, now you're a Pathfinder, you gotta know exactly.
clubs that are just as good, if not better than sometimes.
Oh, yeah, there are some.
But it does take that, consistency with that.
The thing coming from someone who has graded drill march, graded different clubs and stuff like this, I much rather see a club do a basic drill and do the basic drill perfect than try to do fancy drill and mess it all up. Because you get higher points for basic if everybody's in step, in unison, and everything looks good. Then if you go to a fancy drill and you get half the club turning left, half the club turning right, you're doing a to the rear march, and all of a sudden they're stepping on the wrong foot and they're turning the wrong way. That just 0, 0, 0. So learning the basics is more important than fancy drill. Once your basics is done and you've got it down, then you can look up like the Marine Corps 7 drill and different things like that to get other ideas on what to do.
So one of the things that we did when I was Pathfinder in Tacoma at our club there, we did a little bit of fancy drill, and that's, we did a starburst. Starburst is done from a 3x3.
Well, then you have one person this way and one person that way.
So for a starburst, everyone basically is marching in place. Each person goes out to, you go out straight, and you go out to 45, you go out to 45, you can go out straight, you go out to 45. The starburst from the center. The center person sits in the center and does right faces all the way around on the count. It can be a lot of fun. Basic drill can be, but if you can't do basic, why are we doing basic?
And if when it gets that, just encourage them, hey, go home, work on your right, left face, your left faces, work on your marching, staying on the left, when you do the left hand, just trying to keep it together, and then maybe you can progress to those quicker. Because those are fun, and people enjoy those, but you do have to get the basics down.
Have you ever heard marching band music from the military? What is it? The way that you can tell a marching band march, it always has that big bass drum. Dome, dome, dome. That's your left foot every single time. March, the military, we march all over the place. And they're always in step. Well, that's because they're playing the big music and there's a big guy over there.
It's gonna be that 4 4 on 1 and 3, you're gonna be having that big.
Yeah. That is the military.
Does that mean we need a big drum here?
No, we're gonna do it. Right. That's just a bit more. Military doesn't do everything.
And usually conference puts out, we're working ahead of time with what the commands they expect. We agree to be part of the drill competition. And then you should get those down to the point that you have no issues with it.
Yeah. What are your questions? I will guarantee that I will know all of those things. Does everybody have a basic understanding of how to fall in, stand in position of attention? Huh? I'm going to disagree with you on this one, because I do it differently. But, alright, so, for dismiss. So there's different commands for dismiss. There's fall out, and then there's dismiss. Dismiss is for the end of the day. Okay? The way that I run drill march after the last questions are asked, the first session, I give them dismissed. Call for position of attention, and I have Pathfinder do one step back, about the face, and move out. Okay? Mr. Chairman has them say, sir, yes, sir, and then move out. So that is the way that we differ, and it's just preferences.
You can add both ones together or whatever.
It's however you
So
want.
usually, and when we're using like, the falling out or dismiss, we're possibly like a flag, turning or raising, and so you're all kind of facing the flag at this point. And so if we were to go forward, you're all running into each other, so one of the reasons we go behind is so that we're all going in different directions, so we exit to the rear, and everybody has movement to go.
Alright, any other questions? Another thing that I forgot to go over, and I'm gonna go real quick, sorry, I'm trying. Alright. When you're going through rest positions at the hall, right rest at ease, prayer attention, rest. You can go down in levels, you have attention, right rest, prayer attention, at ease, and rest. You can go down in those ladders. But if you go up, you have to go to position. Okay, so you guys are at ease. Can I go from here to right rest? No. Okay? You have to go back to the position of tension. Okay? Alright, so, Pathfinders. Attention. Array, rest. Prayer, attention. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for your love for us. And continue to watch over us. Be with us as we are continuing to drill and march. Learn about you.